I am not a puzzle expert, and the biggest number I have done is 2,000, which isn't really big because there are huge projects out there. There's 46,000 pieces, there's 9,000 pieces. And the only reason I don't do a bigger project is I'm retired. We live in a small condo. My dining room table, it literally fits four people. A 2,000 piece puzzle fits that whole dining room table. It's glass. It's horrible to work on. So I do not do big projects.
Welcome to a new episode of Most Memorable Journeys. Today's guest is puzzled about everything, she says on her Instagram. And I am really, really curious. I want to hear what this is all about. She travels with 200 puzzles in her suitcase and she travels a lot. So let's find out. Welcome to Most Memorable Journeys, Monica Marlatt.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Yes, we are having quite an incredible journey in our retirement. It's something that when my kids left, I had to rediscover myself, find something to keep me busy, and it was puzzle. In that, um, from that, I don't know, somewhere along the line, I became a puzzle influencer, not intentional. It just sort of happened. And from there, we do cruise a lot. I take my puzzles on board, and I had an idea. Let's see who's in charge and if they'd be interested in us hosting puzzle events. So that is what we do now. We puzzle a lot and we cruise a lot.
This is so funny. Did you puzzle? Did your children puzzle? Did you puzzle? Did you? Where does it come from?
Um, did puzzle with my children. Not that it was a big activity that we did together, but we did puzzle. And I really don't know. When the kids left, I was sort of a little blue and I didn't know what to do. And I thought, okay, I got to turn myself around. What did you like to do before you had kids? And I went, oh, I like to puzzle. Puzzle's fun. So I picked up a few puzzles and I went, yeah, I still really like that. And from there, my kids said, hey, mom, you make some pretty nice puzzles. Why don't you start an Instagram account? And again, that's something else this journey's taking me to. I had to learn what Instagram was. I had to learn what editing was, posting and all these things. So I'm I'm not a tech savvy person, but I'm better now. My friends always go, "Wow, how'd you do that?" I go, "I don't know, but I did it." I'm quite proud of myself. So that just one thing led to another. And with our cruising, as a sea day, I would bring a puzzle just to keep busy. Like someone brings a book, I would bring a puzzle. And I had a thought because we had so many people would stop by and go, oh, that's a pretty puzzle. Or can I join you? It always leads to some conversation with someone. And I said to my husband, there should be more opportunities for everyone to puzzle on a cruise ship. So it took about 2 years of pitching myself, and I'm still pitching myself. Honestly, I'm trying to get on other cruise ships and saying, hey, this is what we have going on with Royal Caribbean. We get over 100 people coming down to the dining room. I bring, like you mentioned, over 200 puzzles, all different puzzles. I work with so many different puzzle brands. They're very kind, they're very generous. They send me puzzles. They're happy to have their puzzles shared on cruise ships. I bring wood puzzles, acrylic puzzles, shaped puzzles, anything you can think of. And people come down and they don't know what to expect. They're like, what's a puzzle? Like, what is a puzzle? It could be a Sudoku. It could be a crossword puzzle. It could be a escape room challenge. It means a lot of things. But then they come down, they see their jigsaw puzzles, and I'm like, oh, no, no. I have wood puzzles. Have you ever done a wood puzzle? And they're like, no, I haven't. Come with me. And I set them up and they puzzle. And we meet so many wonderful people. We're traveling around the world. We're meeting people from all over. It's just been wonderful. My husband and I, we sit back at the end of a puzzling session and we go, can you believe this? What we're doing? It's just so crazy.
To be honest, puzzles scare me. I see all those pieces which have the same, like a sky or a sea, or I don't know, pieces which all have the same color. How do you find them?
That
How do they fit?
You know what? Thank you for bringing that up because I just don't bring hard puzzles. I bring the demographics on a cruise ship are all over the charts. I have people who can't see. I have people with arthritis. I have a 3-year-old. I bring puzzles. I can bring a 10-piece puzzle, which I do. I bring a 1,000-piece puzzle. I will sit and I'll talk to you. So if you said that to me, I would set you up with maybe a 100-piece puzzle. And I'd watch how you would do it that. And I'd make sure that there were sorting options for you so you didn't feel intimidated. Because the last thing I want is for you to walk out of that room frustrated because you won't come back. I want you to love my puzzles as much as I love them. So it's always important to me to talk to everybody because everybody has their own puzzling skills and strengths. And that's what's great about it. I have such a variety that I can do that. And people love it. They're like, oh, I forgot I love puzzling. I go, I've always been intimidated, like you said. But now I see there are puzzles that are achievable for me to build, and I'll just seek those ones out.
So, are you a puzzle expert? Like, can you what puzzle with the most pieces have you ever done? What's the biggest number?
I am not a puzzle expert, and the biggest number I have done is 2,000, which isn't really big because there are huge projects out there. There's 46,000 pieces, there's 9,000 pieces. And the only reason I don't do a bigger project is I'm retired. We live in a small condo. My dining room table, it literally sits 4 people. A 2,000-piece puzzle fits that whole dining room table. It's glass. It's horrible to work on. So I do not do big projects. I'm comfortable at 1,000-piece puzzle. That's what I like. Some people like really hard, challenging ones. Good for them. My husband puzzles with me. He's very different. He doesn't like big projects. His comfort zone is 300. So I'll pull out a 300 so we both can puzzle together. But I'm not a puzzle expert. There are puzzle experts out there. I call myself a casual puzzler. I'm a puzzle enthusiast, and I just share my love of puzzles when we go cruising.
That's so funny. But you did not, when you went cruising the first time, you you just took it with you for your own entertainment. You didn't
I did.
plan to do what you're doing now.
That's correct. It was just because people kept stopping by and we'd be chatting, and then I go, "But there's space to do more puzzles on a cruise ship rather than like people bring their deck of cards, they'll bring a game, and on sea days, you see them sitting around. They don't want to do all the shows or anything. They're playing games or cards. Same with the puzzle. And I go, we can do something bigger with more people. It was just a thought, and it was only because people kept stopping by and chatting with us and some joining us. I go, I think we can do something here. And it honestly, to get on the cruise, it took me 2 years to get that contract. It wasn't an easy thing. No one understood what I was saying. They didn't get it. And that's okay. It was a new idea.
So you got in touch with the management of the cruise line and started negotiating or explaining to them what it is, and they didn't get it. So, but more or less that's the story. And you
Yeah.
actually got a contract. Now, I don't know if you want to answer this question, but I will ask it anyway. Do you get paid? I mean, you obviously you don't pay for your cruise when you do that.
I do not get paid. I get a cruise. My husband and I, we get a cruise out of it, and we're like, "That's okay." We'd be traveling anyway. We would be cruising anyway. So this is just a little bonus for us, and being retired, it helps.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you get a, so uh, and then how often do you have to puzzle or do you want to puzzle every day or are you in the program? How
Good,
does that
yeah.
work?
So I am in the program. It's called the Compass. So I will be in the Compass, and it'll say puzzling, and we on the cruises that we work with Royal Caribbean. It's not a standard cruise where you would do a Caribbean cruise for a week. You're at a different port every day. People go off, they're on the beach, they're drinking a bucket of beer. You don't want to come back on and puzzle. We're on longer cruises where there's a lot of sea days. So we're invited to come on to give the staff a bit of a break so there's more choices for the passengers. So it should be at least 7 sea days. So I would be doing a puzzling session every day. Usually we're evolving the program. Usually we do 2 hours. So we're down in the morning, we're in the dining room. The dining room has nice lights and nice big tables. And I bring literally two huge suitcases full of puzzles, and I bring about 30 to 40 different puzzle brands. You'd be surprised. A lot of people can't even name one puzzle brand. So when they go, "Oh, there's more than one puzzle brand," I'll go, "Oh, yes, there is." And then we work with Royal Caribbean anywhere between 2 to 4 cruises a year. Um, the Royal Caribbean, when somebody goes on a cruise, there's usually a Facebook group well in advance, about 2 months in advance, and people start chatting. Who's ready to go on the vacation? From let's say Sydney, Australia to Hawaii. Who's bringing what and stuff. And we'll introduce ourselves in the Facebook saying, "Hey, we're on this cruise and we're bringing puzzles." So we get people excited about that, so they know that. And then on my Instagram website, I always not advertise, I post what 2 cruises or 4 cruises are coming up. So we do have people following us that literally book their cruises so that they can puzzle with us. So they always know in advance where we're going to be.
So what you're saying is people would actually book a cruise because of the puzzles?
There's about 8 people that do that, which surprises us.
Wow.
It's always nice to see them again, but they are, I'll call them elite they're elite cruisers. They cruise like over half a year. So they're bored sometimes. So they love, oh, the puzzling people are on. We love puzzling with them. And I do rotate my puzzles every cruise. So because they cruise so much, they say, "Oh, you're gonna be on that cruise? I'll make sure I book that cruise." So, yes, we do have about eight people that do that, and it's very flattering,
Your fan group.
right? And I'm just a puzzler, it's crazy.
Amazing. Now, tell me, Monica, how many cruises have you been on so far in your life? Do you know?
It in So for the puzzling, we've probably done 8 or 9. In my life, um, I've I've been on a lot. I've probably been on 70 cruises or something like that. Yeah.
So that's something that you liked. You did that before you were retired. You went
Yeah.
on cruises.
Yeah, that was our honeymoon, and then that was our go-to vacation with the kids because we felt it accommodated everybody's desires and activities and programs and food. So that's why we still continue cruising and love it.
And what is your Well, that's always a bit of a difficult question, but do you have your best cruise ever? Is there a best cruise ever, or is there what are the places that you like more than others?
Um, I don't think we've had a lot of wonderful cruises, and it's always about meeting people. And I must say, doing the puzzling, we get to meet more people. It's just, you know, they come down to our puzzling thing, and then in the afternoon, we might do a trivia, and they're like, oh, come join us, or we'll walk by a bar. Oh, sit down and have a drink with us. And we're like, oh my God, we're so popular. Like, when did that happen? Uh, so I'm finding when we're doing the cruise puzzling, we're meeting more people, and we meet honestly such wonderful people. Like when I say wonderful, they invite us to their homes afterwards. Like they're saying, "Oh, if you ever come, please stop by and you can stay with us." And I'm like, wow, it's very kind and generous people. And every cruise, my expectations, I'm not saying they're low, but I'm just like, "Oh, it can't get better than the last one." And it always does. It always does.
But as you say, it depends a lot on the people. It's not really I there is a saying, what is it? What is more important, the journey or the destination? And the
There
answer
you
is
go.
the company. Yeah. Yeah.
It is. It is true. That's
Yeah.
very true.
Now,
Yeah.
how about the psychological or whatever health effect of puzzling? Is puzzling good for your brain?
Absolutely. You better
Question,
believe
isn't
it.
it?
It is, especially as we get older. It's important that we learn new things. I don't care if you're learning a new language, if you're teaching yourself new recipes, you need to stimulate your brain. If you're learning an instrument, I'm learning technology. On my Instagram account, I make a lot of puzzle reels, stop motion, something that I learned. And now with AI adding effects into it, I'm always learning, which is really important to me. You're stimulating, you're connecting your brain cells. So, like my doctor said, he goes, keep doing what you're doing. This is so good for you. Also, uh, just building a puzzle, especially like you said you were afraid of the sky or the sea because it's blue. The harder the puzzle, the better it is for you. You need to challenge yourself. If it's too easy, you're not challenging yourself. So try and figure out a way to do the puzzle, like if it's through sorting, if it's through sorting through pieces, the shapes of the pieces, whatever you can do. So puzzling absolutely is. And in society today where we're always online, it is such a great activity to disconnect. You can put a podcast on and puzzle. You can just have your nice music in the background. You can have calm. It is fantastic. And as I say that being solo and being calm at the same time, it can engage people together. We get together with our friends who have moved away. We go over for a puzzling weekend and we laugh and we joke and we're all around her dining room table doing a puzzle. It can be very social. So puzzling, I think, is a great activity to do.
For many, many different reasons. As you say, for company, for community, and
Yeah,
like one of the most important things as you get older is community, is it's something
yeah,
that you can do with other people.
it is. And it doesn't have to be physical. The online puzzle community is massive. So what they do is they do social puzzling online. So just as you and I are talking right now, we could be puzzling the same puzzle. We don't have to talk, or we could talk. This is huge. There's a huge online puzzle community that puzzles together.
Now how does that work? I've never heard of that before.
It's exactly what it could be, a Zoom meeting. And, you can invite 12 people that they all have the same puzzle and they're all on your screen. And, while you're building the puzzle, like, oh my God, I just put the cat together. Isn't it the cutest thing? And then someone else will pipe in. I did that one too. Wait till you do the dog. And they just chat and they'll do this for a couple of hours. It's wonderful. They may be living alone, but they have a big family, puzzle family online.
So obviously people have to have their physical puzzle in front of them while
Yes.
they are on Zoom. Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm getting it, because I was wondering how on earth can that work?
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't work. No, it's kind of like a book club, isn't it?
Yep. Yep. It could be. That's a great
Because
example.
you can have a book club online. Everybody reads a book and then you discuss it, and that's how you can puzzle together. This is really good because, as you say, some people are lonely. Some people
Hmm.
live by themselves. So that is an excellent idea.
Hmm. Yeah, it works well. And then puzzling has really the younger generation have elevated puzzling. Like, there's speed puzzling now, so it's a competition. So you would all you would physically go into I don't know a competition that just like let's say ping pong. You go into a court, all the tables are set up, everybody has the same puzzle, and you race each other. Speed
Ah.
puzzling is huge. You can do it online. People post their time, how fast they've done it. You can go to the physical competition, and it's global. You would start like maybe in your state or your province, and then as you get faster, it's international. It's incredible. I don't do that. I find that very stressful. That's not why I puzzle. But, I love that puzzle can also offer somebody who's competitive this skill. How fast can you do it?
Yeah, your puzzling is for entertainment and
Yeah,
for yeah. You're based in Canada, aren't you?
I am. I'm in Toronto.
You're in Toronto. I have to tell you, I found my daughter I found out that I'm pregnant with my daughter near Toronto.
Oh, nice.
I have a very fond memory of
I guess
Toronto.
so.
So it was actually because I was still a tour guide at the time, and it was on a day off in Algonquin Provincial Park.
Okay, beautiful,
So
beautiful.
yeah, that's where. So always consider her a little bit Canadian as
I
well.
guess so. Yeah,
How is Canada doing these days?
we are doing good. Very proud to be Canadian. Yes, I am.
They are some of the nicest people in the world. We all know that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I've spent quite a bit of time in Canada when I was a tour guide. Now, tell me, what's the next cruise?
We actually have one coming up in March. So we're going to Barcelona and then we end up in New Jersey. So I think it's about a 14-day cruise and I'll probably be working about 8 days. So excited. And I know there are people that have done previous puzzle events with us that will be on it. So I'm excited to see those people again. Like puzzles live on.
So that's an Atlantic crossing, isn't it? That's a
Yes,
lot of
it is.
sea days. Yeah. But where does it go? I mean, Barcelona is already quite in the west. Where do you do a tour
Oh,
first?
oh, I have to look at the
No, it doesn't
itinerary. Which
matter.
one?
But it starts there. You fly to Barcelona, and then
Correct.
you get off the ship in New Jersey. You said.
Yeah, there's probably about 5 ports that we go to. But I'm sorry, I don't have the
Yeah, no,
itinerary in
that's
front.
okay. That's okay. But I want to ask again, is there a place in the world that you get off a ship Is there a place where where you felt really wow, that wowed you? Is or more than any places? What is your favorite place?
My favorite well, my favorite cruise is the Panama Canal cruise. Like, we've done it 3 times, and every time I have that wow moment every single time. This just the engineering back then, the technology which they didn't have, how they built that, and it's so interesting because now there's 2 canals. There's the super one, and then there's the regular one. And I remember going through when they were building the super one, and now we went through it again and go, oh my God, it's finished. Like that blows my mind every time.
I can imagine. I have never done anything like that. So how long does it take to go through the Panama Canal?
Oh, it's a day. I think you go through how many locks do you go through? Like 4, maybe 4 locks. Um, it takes about 10 hours to go through, and it's like before you go through, you would get off the cruise ship and you'll tour the port or something like that. And then when you get off, and when you finish the going through the Panama Canal, that's another port stop where you can go through. So it's it's just the history behind that is just absolutely incredible. The countries working together, the engineers, I, I just love it. And every time we go through, they always have a guest speaker talking about something relative to the Panama Canal. And every time it's been a different speaker, always telling and giving trivia that I didn't know. I thought I knew everything. I'm like, no, no, no. It's just everyone has a different perspective. That is my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, those are like world changing constructions. I mean, it,
Yeah.
it's, have you been through the Suez Canal?
No, that was a cruise and it got canceled, unfortunately. So one day we'll see.
It's usually, that area is usually for political reasons, isn't it?
Yes, that's why it got canceled.
Yeah, the Middle East is a very delicate place, and I'm very
Yeah.
near it. I mean, I'm here in Cyprus, and I fly to Beirut in 20 minutes and to Cairo in 50 minutes. So I'm in the middle of very far
Yeah.
from the Eastern Mediterranean. But you said that you have been to Cyprus. You've been on
We
my island.
we did and loved it. And again, that was the time when the cruise ships went around there and now they don't go there anymore. Again, it's just too volatile. So maybe the climate will change one day and we can experience that part of the world more. We'll see.
Yeah, I think because Cyprus is not exactly, a cruise ship would not come here because of Cyprus. It would stop here because it has the opportunity to go to Israel and Egypt.
Yes, and
If they
that's what we
can't
did.
go there, then they will not come here for, just for Limassol is not attractive enough, I think, for a whole cruise ship to come to this area.
I beg to differ. I loved it.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, but they want to sell, so it has to be. The thing is that people very often don't really know what to expect. Like I don't think many people in the world actually. I'm talking about North America. I don't think many people actually know where Cyprus is, to be honest.
Yep. I agree with that. Like when we went, we were one of the few North American people. And I was like, oh my God, look at all the Europeans who come here. It is like their March break going to Florida or Hawaii or the Caribbean. And the beaches were gorgeous. I was like, oh, this is so cool where they got. But and we just loved all the buildings and all the stores. And I was like, we just didn't get to stay long enough.
Yeah. Well, you see, this is the thing. I mean, we are like the southernmost southern part of Europe. We're still
Mhm,
part of the European Union, but we are literally geographically we are in the Middle East.
mhm, mhm.
Now, Monica, puzzling is good for the brain. And I am sure because you're a clever lady, what other things are good for the brain? I have to pick your brain a little bit
Pick
here.
my brain. What? Well, like I said, as we get older, there are two things that we need to do. All right. One is keep learning. Okay. We should not be settling and watching TV and watching a documentary and think you're learning. No, you physically have to learn some new skill. Like, I don't know, like I said, if it's a musical instrument, a language, like you have to find something that you can do. Let's say you want to do wood burning, new wood carving techniques. You have to learn something. That's important. And then the other thing that we have to do when we get older is we have to stay social. All right. If you're going to stay in every night and watch TV, that's probably you're isolating yourself. We really need to have a purpose and connect with people. And again, like if you go out to classes to learn art, let's say you want to learn how to paint, that's perfect. Now you're doing both things. You're learning a new technique and you're socializing with people. But it's very important, like if you join a book club, like you said, or that you're joining a walking club. Not so much about being physical. You'll get that in your daily routine, just walking around. But we need to be social. And you don't have to like go to a nightclub or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But you need to interact with people and have conversations with people. If you want to learn pickleball and then afterwards go out and have a coffee and talk about it, but we need to be social as well.
So community is very, very important, and it's one of the main, one of the things in every longevity book or in every program that you see. It's important to, as you
Yeah.
said, to be social, to know other people. One thing that I know, I haven't, I've been on a cruise many, many years ago, a Caribbean cruise, when cruise ships were not as big yet as they are now. Do you always find your way around? Is it easy to find your way around a cruise ship?
Oh, that's part of the fun is discovering where everything is when on the first day when you get on, it's like you walk from one end to another, up and down, and you check out where everything is. So that's great. You're getting your exercise. But I must say the cruise ships this is a general statement, what I'm saying. The big cruise ships are not for our demographics. They're for families. Okay. They want to keep the whole family on board. They want you to spend the money. They have the water slides, they have the zip lining, they have the water surfing, they have the parachuting, they have everything. All right. They don't want you to get up. They want you to spend the money. Older, I'm not going to do the parachuting. All right. The zip lining, I might do. Rock climbing, my limbs can't do that. Okay. It's like I choose the smaller ships. So the smaller ships, obviously, a lot easier to navigate, and they don't offer as many amenities. So it's whatever your preference is. You will figure out the ship. There's maps everywhere. I wouldn't be worried about it.
When you say the smaller ships, how many people are on a smaller ship?
Well, on Royal Caribbean, I'm going to say like 2,000 people.
Yeah,
But if you talked about a riverboat cruise, it could be 400 people,
yeah.
right? And again, the services, everything changes when you get smaller and smaller, but it's what you prefer to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I when I travel and I speak to lots of people do a lot of cruising and they know a lot about it and they know which cabins are good and which cabins.
Yeah.
So you get you for sort of you become a more experienced cruiser.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Well, some people do know their cabins. We've been on a lot. I don't remember. My husband remembers. Does it really matter? To me, not so much because we're not in our cabin for a long time, at least on the bigger ships. I could see on a river cruise, it would be, I'd be more picky about what room I wanted. And depending on the itinerary, maybe I do want a balcony versus an inside room. There's all different variables to influence what room you would pick.
Yeah, I think that is so much the same with hotels, isn't it? I mean, when you go to New York and you spend your all your day outside, all you need is a clean bed and
Yeah,
a clean bathroom. You don't need a, but when you
yep,
go on a, I don't know, when you go on a beach holiday, you want a little bit, but that's so true. Very, very true. I have done though, when I was a tour guide, I did a lot of Nile cruises, and those ships were very small, and they all had the cabins were all outside, and they all had balcony. I actually locked myself out on my balcony one day, and I couldn't get back in.
oh my God, that's
So,
funny.
but I had a sunbed, and there was a mat on the sunbed, and then I dropped the mat of my sunbed on a bar table, so just to get attention, so I had to come and tell them to save me. I don't know why that door locked, but it happened. That's my cruise story. Do you have any funny experiences, funny cruise stories?
Funny cruise stories off the top of my head, I
Or
can't think
maybe an
of it.
embarrassing one, like
But
locking yourself out on.
I can't think. I know I have beautiful stories of people puzzling and connecting together. Those always come to mind. But as for something funny, I can't think of anything right now. Sorry.
So do people become puzzle friend, like people who come and puzzle with you, because develop friendships?
They do. That's a great question. I have families that come down and you have both the mom and dad down with the kids. The kids are so excited. They have both their parents there, totally committed to the kids, no cell phones. And at the end of they come down every single day. And at the end, the parents go, thank you. You know what? We're going to do a puzzle once a month as a family activity. That warms my heart. There were a group of ladies that would come down and they all started puzzling individually. Their partners, wherever they might have been, maybe someone was in the casino, maybe someone was still sleeping, or somebody was not interested in reading a book. They came down and started puzzling individually. And then they saw that they were all single and they started chatting. One thing led to another. Then they occupied the same table, puzzling individually. Then they decided to start puzzling a bigger project together as a group. Well, I'll tell you, at the end of that cruise, they were buddy buddy. They made their own Facebook group to just show each other, hey, I'm still puzzling. This is what I'm working on. And I was like, that's an amazing story.
I think that is an amazing story. Have you ever had any people falling in love over your puzzles?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I bring wood puzzles. Wood puzzles are quite a different puzzling experience. And I'm very fortunate. Like I said, I work with a lot of puzzle friends and they send them to me. So I'm saying I'm gifted them. And some of these puzzles, these wood puzzles are $200-300. And I bring them on the ship and people go, I've never done a wood puzzle. And I'm like, and they're like, oh my God, it's just so elegant. And they're like, oh, I love this. Some people have a lot of money and they go, they have the Wi-Fi on the ship and they go, I bought two. I go, you bought two of them? Oh my God. Um, Other people, they might do a mail or like a subscription where they build the puzzle and they send the puzzle back, a wood puzzle. But I definitely know I've influenced people, I've connected people with puzzles, and they're like, "Oh, I'm buying some of those," and I'm like, "Great, great."
That's so funny. Now we have to give a little shout out to your husband Ray because he accompanies you. He's part of the puzzled about everything
He
situation.
is. He is. He See, now there is someone that doesn't like puzzling. When my kids left, I started puzzling. My husband was still working, so I would puzzle on my own, and I did my Instagram alone. And then we had the pandemic, and then puzzle brands, um, people lost their jobs, and they switched to making puzzles. But it was trending. They couldn't get their puzzles out on the stores because stores were closed. So they reached out to people like myself that had a following, and they said, "Could you build our puzzle and post about it?" I'm like, "Sure, I can." So I got a lot of puzzles sent to me. Well, it got really crazy that I couldn't keep up with all the puzzles that were being sent to me. And my husband at that point said, "Let me help you." And he would pull out the flat edges, and that would give me a start. I'd have maybe about a half hour head start now that he pulled out the flat edges. Now he is retired, and now he does help me. He does not like to puzzle. He doesn't like 1,000-piece puzzle. He likes 300 pieces. It's the nice big pieces. He can see them. He can hold them. He doesn't like the small pieces, but he's very supportive of what I do when I go on the cruise. It is a lot of work. Packing, organizing, processing all the puzzles that we have, setting up the table every day, taking it down every day. Um, he is very supportive, but it's something that if I wasn't around, I don't think he would be puzzling.
Fair enough, but he is now, and you have influenced him as well. And I think that's a very wonderful thing. So I think that's a perfect ending to this podcast episode. I think whoever is listening now, including myself, feels like wanting to puzzle. I do. I don't have one. I don't think there is a puzzle in my house, but I'll go and buy one now.
Wonderful. That's what I like to hear. Well, thank you for having me and sharing. It's just been great.
Thank you so much for being on Most Memorable Journeys today, Monica Marlatt. Thank you. If you enjoy my podcast, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You will find all the information in the show notes.